Welcome back to Good Morning SKN and welcome to another edition of Expressions. Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Makeida Veira, the creative force behind Sugarworks. Makeida, thank you for joining us,
Yeah,
and
good morning. Welcome.
indeed it's our pleasure.
Our pleasure indeed.
So let's dive right into the discussion, Makeida. The story behind the launch of your business. What's the backstory? What propelled you to start Sugarworks?
Well, I wasn't always named Sugarworks. I started baking way back in 2009, more so for my godkids and family members and stuff. Um, I started with box cake and the regular icing out of the supermarket.
Okay.
And I am always trying to find new creative stuff to do. So painting is my thing,
Ooh.
baking is my thing, that sort of stuff. And I saw the market for baking at the time. Now it was just a hobby. For a few years, it was just a hobby until I got outside customers, asking, "Oh, can you bake me a cake?"
Right.
I was nowhere near baking cookies.
Mm.
And so, even though I had a regular job, I just did baking on the side for a good 5 or so years.
Okay, good stuff.
Sugarworks, however, came into play in 2015.
Okay.
I formerly known as 3K's Tasty Treats. I figured the name was too long and I needed a more catchy phrase.
Yes.
And so I played around and came up with Sugarworks
Sugarworks.
SKN.
And you see, Sugarworks is attributed to stkitts.
Yes.
So that was so nice that
Yes.
you.
I like the play on words.
Yes, indeed. Wow. So you said it started as a hobby and it turned into a true passion for cake decor and all sweet treats. Yes, I was on your page, minding your business, doing everything. Now, before we dive into everything, I want persons to know how you learned how to bake. As you said, it started as a hobby. Was it something that Granny taught you? Your mommy taught you?
I can say it fell out of thin air.
Oh wow!
But baking is kind of in the family.
Okay.
My dad bakes bread and stuff,
nice.
on the side. My grandpa was a well-known baker in the community and stuff. He came from Portugal, learning that kind of Spanish baking.
Okay.
So even though I wasn't taught per se, kind of came naturally.
Oh, nice.
And Google was my best friend. I have never been to school for pastry.
What?
I have never done any classes
Formal
per se.
classes. Wow.
No, it's just something like a trial and error I do
And
with
it worked
cakes,
out.
and then with cookies, it's the exact same thing.
Okay.
In my downtime, I try to find ways to improve.
Yes.
But yeah, I've never done
Wow.
any sort of baking classes or anything.
So why did you start with the cookies? You mentioned the cake all the time. What got you to begin the love for the cookies?
In about 2016, I think that's when Instagram was most popular. 2016, 2017.
Thereabout, yes.
I came across a post from a baker, and she did custom cookies with, I think it was like Elmo or something on it.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, I've never seen anyone in St. Kitts do this. But it was hard. It was really, really hard. So I tried. I Googled the recipe. I didn't turn out the best.
Okay.
And then I said, well, I will try something else, trial and error. So that's how it kind of started.
Okay.
Until I got my first customer wanted cookies, and can you put, I think it was Paw Patrol. I was like, I can't put the Paw Patrol face on it, but I can do like a bone
Yeah.
with the number or the child's name. My writing was atrocious, but over time I
gotten
learned,
better,
and
yeah.
it has gotten a lot better. So I can proudly say
Yes.
I brought the custom cookie business to St. Kitts.
Oh, that's nice.
I was one of
Yes.
the only persons at that time doing cookies, custom cookies, that is.
Funny enough, when I saw those cookies, I thought they came from some.
I couldn't believe it was made here.
No, I thought it came from an ex-establishment.
Oh,
This was the owner of the establishment. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at
it's
that.
pretty.
Look at that. Cute as ever. My word.
Really artistic. I love it.
Yes.
So Makita, are you a one person for your business, or do you have a team work with you?
It's just me
All
alone.
alone. Wow, wow. For persons who seeing Sugar Works, are you open for like collaboration? What if somebody sees the dream and want to buy into it? Let's say somebody from Nevis. Are you open for collaboration?
I That's a hard question
Yes.
to answer
Thinking.
because I've never been approached, so I guess the thought never crossed my mind.
Okay.
And I have only been cookie decorating and stuff, baking,
Okay.
for about the last year, maybe a year and a few months.
Okay.
After I had my baby, I have
Okay.
a beautiful 1-year-old. I decided, I will take the leap of faith and go into baking full time. So whereas I always had another job, I've been teaching, I've been working in law.
Yes.
Baking has only been like I can't say 9 to 5 because I bake 24/7.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yes, for the
Wow.
last year.
And let's just mention that you teach. Have you taught persons like the art of making these cookies? Or you think it's
No.
an option you might want to go into?
I haven't taught per se, like had my own classes.
Okay.
I was approached by the Ministry of Youth, their summer camp. So I
Okay.
did the summer camp
Summer camp.
last
Okay.
year. I did. I might have done like custom cookies where you do it yourself cookies,
Okay,
kind of,
okay.
and did a video so that I think ECCB was one who purchased last year for their camp, where the children do their own cookie, but I did a video to kind of demonstrate.
Okay.
Okay.
Good
Nice.
stuff.
Nice.
You mentioned your kids. Since you're a one-woman show,
Yes.
how do you deal with your children? How do you have time for them and still produce all of these
Yes.
orders that I know you're getting?
I have a wonderful, significant other.
Oh,
So
sweet.
he steps up. He encourages me.
Nice.
He was kind of the force behind me. Maybe you should take the leap of faith and stay home with her.
nice.
We were very concerned with COVID and stuff and sending
Yes.
her into the daycare system
Yes.
at such a young age, and so he was very supportive. And
Oh, that's
so
sweet.
where I am up at midnight baking cookies, he's
Helping
giving
with the baby.
Yes, he's feeding and everything.
That's so
Wow,
sweet.
of course.
Significant order. Those were your flowers.
Of course. Makita, what's your most difficult piece that you've made or cookie that you've made? One that takes the most energy out of you, like
Those Encanto cookies were the most difficult.
Yes.
Just because I tell persons all the time, I think one of the high schools had me do a session with the students,
Okay.
and I was telling them cookies can take sometimes days to make.
Oh, wow.
No,
Wow.
it sounds very weird
Yes.
because to think of a cookie, most persons, I think, they have the idea that I have a machine that prints the stuff onto the cookie.
They don't know you're the
They
artist.
don't know I have to do it each one by hand.
Wow.
But the more colors on a cookie, the longer it takes because I have to wait for each color to dry before I can add another. Otherwise, they bleed into one another.
Oh, I
And
didn't know
so
that.
when you have like characters with like Encanto with all the flowers and the different colors, I have to do that over a time period, of like a day, sometimes 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, that is so good. Well, I picked out some of my favorite stuff that you would have done. Before we go to what your largest order is, I see you did a baby shower cake with an elephant holding up the top of that cake. How is that elephant so strong? And he looks like a baby himself.
And would you believe it? I did that cake at 6 months pregnant.
Wow.
And so
What?
where I was supposed to be on bed rest,
Yes.
she's a long time customer,
Aw.
and I could not turn her down.
Okay.
And so I took on the challenge. I was very
Wow.
concerned because I have never done an elevated cake.
Yeah.
I had to look through all the mechanics and how to
Yes.
get that done. But yes,
That was a nice cake. Then you did the Blippy cookies for McKaylee's birthday, the Paw Patrol cookies, that Pandora gift bag, girl. A whole and a realistic gift gift bag too.
I try. I mean, I'm still failing. I tell persons all the time, I fail daily. But
Y'all, I don't know where to fail in that one.
I find joy in making my customers very happy. Like I can speak of a situation just weekend gone. A customer wasn't really happy with a cake, and I decided I was gonna bake her another cake.
Oh, okay.
Just because I mean it was for a child's birthday, and I love children. I
Yes.
love children, and to see that they weren't really happy. I mean, it's sometimes you have to cut your losses in a
Yes,
sense.
yes.
But it was more important to me that the
Of
customer
course.
is happy.
Yes,
And so
exactly.
I'm not perfect all the time. I fail even on cookies. I have to redo sometimes
Yes.
3, 4 times. But I try my best
That's good.
to put
That's
my
good.
best foot forward. It is hard now to balance mom life
Yes,
and baking
yes.
life, my relationship. There comes a time where I'm working like 7 days a week. It's like, how do I tell my customers no? Originally, I
Yes.
started out, I don't work on Sundays because I want to go to church. That's kind of been my
Yes.
thing. I am a church goer. But it's hard when I have regular customers and who can I get a cake for Sunday? I'm like, how do I tell them no?
No.
Yes.
How do I draw the line and say no, I'm not baking? So sometimes I don't bake on Sundays per se, but if it's a cake order, yes. For cookies can last days, so kind
Okay.
of have them pick them up the day before. But it is hard balancing that. Get up in the morning, I have to cook, I have to get the baby ready for school,
Yes, yes.
and then bake all day, and then pick her up, and then I have to
Super mother.
entertain, get her ready for bed, and then her dad comes home, and then go back to the kitchen and bake again. So it's like a cycle. So the tiredness
Yeah. Wow.
is the major low. But my very high is that I get to enjoy things like this.
Yes.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
I am very thankful
Yes.
for y'all for having me. I get to enjoy my customers posting, and
Yes.
I get to make people happy in
Yes.
cakes and cookies and different stuff like that. So the exposure has been amazing, especially this past year, because I was very scared. Like, how do I go from making 2 incomes per se to
just
working
one.
solely in
Yes.
just baking? I mean, you know how baking is. Even though somebody has a birthday every day, you don't get orders for every day.
Yeah.
But so you have to know how to charge now for overhead, and so you
Yeah.
can make a profit.
Yes. Yes.
So it was kind of hard, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying
Wonderful.
it.
Wonderful.
Let's talk about your policy now that you spoke about that just now. As of April of this year, you had a whole new policy that customers have to follow when they're going to order from you. Why did you see the need to implement that type of policy?
Because the cookies were so in demand, I had customers booking a date, not paying a deposit, and then canceling like 2-3 days before.
Oh, girl.
Where if I have 20 orders for Saturday, I have to start baking those cookies Tuesday, Wednesday, store them so that they keep fresh, so I can decorate and that they're ready in time.
Yeah.
And so I had to implement sometimes pick up orders, because sometimes you make a cake and persons don't show up for that cake.
Wow.
Sometimes 1 to 2 days after, they're just coming for the cake, or they don't want the cookies anymore, So I had a very bad experience making a custom order, and it's very hard where it's not just a regular chocolate cake with some sprinkles and you could sell it again.
Yes.
You make a custom order of cookies with your name on it, a specific character, but you don't pick up that order. It's hard now for me to go and resell.
Yes.
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 So I try to stick within my order guidelines and everything, just to make the whole operation smoother.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. It certainly
course, of
makes a lot
course.
of sense.
And Makeida, for those folks who are watching and want to reach out to you to give some pre-orders, are you on social media? What's your contact details
Yes.
so that persons can reach out to you to pre-book or order from you?
Yes, I am. I try to encourage to book through WhatsApp, just because I have WhatsApp business and it is very convenient.
Oh, okay.
My number is 669-9750.
Okay.
I am also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Oh, yeah,
I'm trying to
Yes.
I'm trying to make more videos.
Okay.
It's Sugarworks SKN for all the media platforms.
All media platforms. So Sugarworks SKN on Facebook, on
Instagram and TikTok. Yes.
Nice.
What about an email for those persons who maybe overseas are not into so much of the social those other means? Is there email and do you have a contact number as well? That's your camera right there.
Yes, you can reach me at the same. You can reach me at we have to add 869, so it's 1-869-669-9750.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Are you on 869 to go?
No, I
Not
am
yet.
not.
Pretty soon, I hope. Yes.
There's me saying not yet. I also saw something that is on your page that was appealing to me. Appreciate what you have before it turns into what you had.
Wow.
How did you come up with that?
It was a quote given to me by someone very special, and I was having a low moment. I was proud that I can stay home and make my own money in a sense, you know. There were many people struggling through COVID and all of that, and when people lost their jobs and everything, I was afforded the opportunity to have this talent to do something that I can kind of sustain on my own. And so when I got that quote, it really stood out to me because, you know, like you just have to appreciate every little thing before it goes. Like, what if I use my hands daily? What if something has to happen to my hand? What would I do? You know, what would happen to my business that provides for me and my family?
Wow. It was a great quote. I was like, wow. See, I even highlighted because I said I have to ask her about this quote, how it works for her. Before you go, we have to talk about those Burner Boy cookies. So let's talk about the Burner Boy cookies that now everybody wants their own cookie. How difficult were those, and how appreciative did you get feedback on how we appreciated your cookies?
Not directly.
Okay.
How the Burner Boy cookies came about.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the music festival guys on there. Look at his whole face.
It's
African look, all of this is a lot of work.
I had no idea what I was doing with these cookies.
Wow.
It was a very, very, very last minute order.
And each one is individually crafted. It's beautiful.
So I got a call from a former teacher of mine. She was working behind the scenes and everything. And she called me at like 12 o'clock. And she was like, Kida, I need some cookies for... So I was like, for when? She was like, for about 2 o'clock.
Wow.
Now, I know y'all heard me say previously that these cookies can take days.
Yes, Tuesday for Saturday.
So luckily, I was just baking cookies. And so I said, okay, I can squeeze you in. She was like, how many? She was like, about 12. I was like, Lord. I was like, what design? She was like, I'm leaving that up to you. And I was like, well, what can I do? I was like, okay, I really want to put his face on it, but how do I go about? And I started Googling, you know, like persons who maybe have drawn him before, because that would be the easiest way to go. And I was like, okay, I know they call him the African Giants. Maybe I can, you know, kind of incorporate both. He performed on stkitts Music Festival. I can do that. And so I started just jotting down on a paper, okay, maybe 4 designs. So 3 cookies each, 4 designs. And when I came across all the drawing images of him, they were copyrighted.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I don't want to use somebody else's drawing on the cookie. And then because he's so popular, I get copyright, you know. And so I just took a regular image of him. And I sat down at the table and I was like, Lord, just guide my hands because I have no clue what I am doing. And I created his whole face on one cookie.
Excellent
and
job
I was
too.
proud. I was very, very proud. I started, you know, sharing with my friends, you know, like, what do you think? Because they're so close to me. I kind of get feedback from them all the time. I send it in my little family chat. I was like, do you guys think it looks like him? Before I continue?
Sure
Listen,
does. Yes.
down to the dreads, because
Down
you
to
know
the
you have the
dreads.
dreads. That's excellent.
I was very concerned, and they got so excited that they even posted the cookies before they got them. I was like, please take them down just before they get them.
Wow. I'm just speechless.
You are.
The work is just so unique and
plenty work.
Yeah, I love it.
Plenty.
My final question, Makeida. There are other cookie piece makers out there, but why Sugarworks cut above the rest? Yes.
I don't know if because there's a baker in Nevis. She's really good at the
Okay.
cookies as well. I'm not sure if she's doing cookies currently, but she has worked to perfect her craft as
Okay.
well. I think because I do it more often,
Okay.
and I have different tools and material, because why I stand out is because I invest in cookie cutters. I have an entire pantry shelf.
Cookie
I
cutters.
have maybe like 200-300 cookie cutters.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
And so it takes time and years to gather all these different
Yes,
cookie
of
cutters.
course.
The ordinary baker or any other baker really don't have these tools. So
Yeah.
they have like maybe a basic round shape. They
Limit
can
size.
use that basic round shape to
Yes.
get
A lot of-
beautiful designs.
Yes.
But a lot of the customers, if they want, let's say, mermaid theme, they want the seashell and the mermaid tail and stuff. I
Yes.
have those cutters.
Yeah.
And so I think that what makes
Sets
Sugarworks,
apart. Nice.
stand out.
Nice.
And the fact that at the back of the cookie there's just this mysterious sticker that said Sugarworks and a phone number, so you do not know who the person is. What is this? It was mysterious to me, and I'm sure it is mysterious to others until they call that number and find out who is the
Behind
woman
it.
behind the cookies.